Blood does not grant the right to wound the spirit. Shared history does not authorize disrespect. Yet many of us were taught, quietly and repeatedly, that family is exempt from the standards we apply to the rest of the world. We were told to tolerate what we would never accept from strangers, to excuse what corrodes us, to remain silent for the sake of harmony. And so the deepest injuries often come not from enemies, but from those who know our childhood fears, our unfinished battles, our tender places. There comes a morning when we wake up and realize that love without boundaries becomes self-betrayal. That peace purchased through submission is not peace at all. It is a slow erosion of dignity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." We cannot command the tone of a parent, the judgment of a sibling, or the manipulation of a relative. But we can command the gate to our inner world. We can decide what enters and what does not. This is the Stoic boundary. Not a wall built from hatred, but a line drawn from clarity. Not a dramatic exit, but a disciplined refusal to participate in what diminishes us. We do not shout. We do not beg. We do not announce our transformation. We simply become immovable where we once were pliable. And in doing so, we protect the only territory we truly own, our character. Now we walk through the discipline together. 1. We separate love from access. We were taught that if we love someone, we must give them unlimited access to our time, our emotions, our attention. But love is not the same as access. Love can remain steady even when proximity changes. Love can exist without allowing constant intrusion. Seneca warned that no man is crushed by misfortune unless he has first been deceived by prosperity. In family dynamics, the prosperity is familiarity. It deceives us into thinking that tolerance equals virtue. When a relative mocks our ambition, belittles our growth, or drags us back into old roles, we do not respond with rage. We respond with recalibration. We shorten conversations. We limit exposure. We stop volunteering vulnerability where it is not handled with care. We remain respectful, but we become selective. This is not coldness, it is wisdom. The surgeon who removes infected tissue does not hate the body. He protects it. In the same way, we protect our inner life by adjusting access to those who repeatedly misuse it. We stop confusing endurance with strength. Epictetus taught that if someone hands you an insult, you are not required to accept it. The same applies to emotional chaos. We can love a family member and still decline to host their turmoil within our mind. We can care without absorbing. And when guilt tries to creep in, because it will, we remind ourselves, boundaries are not punishments. They are conditions for healthy connection. Without them, resentment grows in silence. With them, dignity remains intact. 2. We refuse the role they assign to us. Families often freeze us in time. The irresponsible one, the quiet one, the black sheep, the overachiever. These roles become scripts we unconsciously replay at every gathering. We laugh at jokes that no longer fit us. We defend accusations that belong to an older version of ourselves, but we are not obligated to remain who we were at 16. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I have to go to work,' as a human being." Our work is not to perform outdated identities for the comfort of others. Our work is to evolve. When we refuse the assigned role, tension may rise. They may say we've changed. They may accuse us of becoming distant or arrogant. But growth often appears as rebellion to those who benefited from our stagnation. We do not argue. We do not justify. We simply behave differently. Over time, the new behavior becomes the new expectation, or it does not, and we adjust our exposure accordingly. But we never shrink to preserve someone else's illusion of who we should be. That is a subtle form of self-abandonment. 3. We master our emotional reaction. The true battlefield is not the dinner table, it is the mind, a careless comment, a passive-aggressive remark, a comparison to a cousin who did better. These are sparks. If we are undisciplined, they ignite an inferno. Anger rises. Defensiveness tightens the chest. Words sharpen. But Epictetus warned, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The insult is external. The interpretation is ours. The emotional escalation is optional. We train ourselves to pause, to observe the surge without obeying it, to let the heat pass before we speak. This is not suppression. It is sovereignty. We refuse to hand over our inner climate to someone else's immaturity. In mastering our reaction, we disarm manipulation. Provocation requires participation. When we respond with calm, measured speech or silence, we become unhookable. And nothing frustrates a provocateur more than a mind that cannot be stirred. 4. We speak clearly, without drama. There are moments when silence is insufficient, when patterns repeat, when respect must be articulated. In those moments, we speak plainly, not with accusation, but with firmness. I will not discuss my career in that tone. If the conversation turns to insults, I'll step away. Short sentences, no essays, no emotional theatrics. Seneca wrote that anger, if not restrained, is frequently more harmful to us than the injury that provokes it. So we remove anger from the delivery. We speak as one stating a fact about the weather, calm, neutral, decisive. Some will test the boundary. They will laugh, dismiss, or escalate. And when they do, we follow through. We leave the room. We end the call. We shorten the visit. Consistency is the teacher. Over time, they learn that access to us requires a standard. And even if they never fully respect it, we do. That is enough. 5. We accept that approval may never come. Perhaps the hardest truth. Some family members will never validate who we are becoming. They may cling to old disappointments. They may compare us to a version of success we do not value. They may withhold praise as a form of control. We must make peace with that. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." The longing for approval is an estimate, a belief that we require it to be whole. We do not. We cultivate self-approval through daily discipline, through integrity, through alignment between our values and our actions. When we know we are living rightly, the absence of applause loses its power. And there is freedom in this. When we stop performing for validation, we become impossible to manipulate through withdrawal of affection. We stand on our own character. 6. We protect our peace as a sacred duty. Peace is not laziness. It is not avoidance. It is clarity sustained under pressure. Each morning before the world begins its demands, we prepare the mind. We remind ourselves that people will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, jealous. Marcus Aurelius anticipated them all. But he also reminded himself that they act from ignorance, not malice of the soul. So we enter family spaces prepared, not naive. We expect friction. And because we expect it, we are not shocked by it. We remain steady. Protecting our peace does not mean cutting everyone off at the first offense. It means maintaining inner composure regardless of outer noise. It means choosing our battles. It means understanding that we cannot reform others, only refine ourselves. And when the line is crossed beyond repair, we step back without apology, not in bitterness, not in revenge, but in recognition that our inner life is a sacred trust. We walk this path together, not as rebels against family, but as guardians of the soul. We do not abandon love. We purify it. We do not seek conflict. We end unnecessary participation in it. And in doing so, we become examples, quietly, steadily, of what it means to live governed from within. That is the Stoic boundary, not loud, not cruel, but immovable.